Hey everybody, John here with FMP Wargamers, and I've got some stuff to talk about with you. Let's get into this. Sorry about the music just a bit ago. Trying to do some painting here. Pretty much for Adepticon, even though I've got plenty of time for Adepticon. Let me get all this out of the way here. If you're curious, you can follow me on Instagram. I am under Father Gabe. That is just a old handle that I had. You can find me underneath there, Father Gabe 7 on Instagram. Actually, I put it in the chat and on the upload on YouTube. You can see all the projects I'm working on right now. I just uploaded a bunch of photos today of my super custom Space Marine army that I've been working on for quite a while before all this hoopla has dropped. Why do I keep pulling that up? All this stuff that's been going on with the Space Marine Codex dropping, the Iron Hands dropping, and all that stuff. That's got, to be honest, a lot of people in a tizzy. I'm sorry, I just realized that the microphone was too far away. Let's try all that again. My name is John. I'm with FMP Wargamers, and I don't know where I should start on this. I just realized that the mic was all the way over there. Sorry about that, ladies and gents. Here, let me see if I can adjust my camera. Hey, no problem, Epion. So let's go ahead. Before we get into any of the nitty gritty of the meta, which is really in a weird state of flux right now, or in a really bad spot, I would say, overall. Some people are enjoying the spot it's in right now, but a lot of other people are not. So let's go into this real quick here. So yesterday and last week I was talking about, we're not sure exactly when this was going to come. We expected mid to late October, and also with the Blood of the Phoenix and the Phoenix Rising book coming out about the same time. And I got my dates flip-flopped, so I assumed that these guys would have came out first, then Blood of the Phoenix, but, well, it's not a big deal that they got flip-flopped. So what is coming out, or going on pre-order this coming Saturday, the 19th, it's going to be Imperial Fist and Salamanders, and the rest of the units that are missing out of the Space Marine Codex. I'm not going to go too much into this. You can check out my video yesterday on the Imperial Fist information on Torgaradon and all of the suspected upgrades they're going to be getting. Still looking at all the notes and stuff that I got, and I'm still waiting to get some replies back from some of my questions and some of my speculations. But it does not, I'm going to be honest, it does not look like Imperial Fist are going to be or the Salamanders are going to be amazingly spectacular, especially if you're like a tournament player or meta player. Tournament player sounds better because we're all competitive players no matter what format we're playing. So get that out of your head. If you are playing this game against somebody, congratulations, you're a competitive player. So I'm not going to go over everything I went over yesterday, but so what we can already assume as I go through just what's going to be dropping, I guess it'll be on the 26th. The 26th of October is when this will drop. 19th is the pre-orders. We're looking at probably about $80 for these Codex deluxe editions as we normally see. They're okay looking. To me, it's not worth the $80 unless it came with some extra swag, like throw in a free set of data cards or some tokens, like metal tokens. I would probably pay $80 for that, but $80 for just a fancy cover and maybe those little tassels for marking your pages. No, man, it's not worth it. Come on, Games Workshop. I mean, there's suckers out there, but I'm not one of them. Well, not all the time, at least. Okay, so the regular editions, they're going to be $40. I'm not sure what the EPUB versions are. I think they're a little bit cheaper, but the physical copies in my opinion, are always better. Unless you're traveling around with like 30 books and you're going to GTs and majors, you're going to probably want the EPUB version. I prefer to have both. I usually get both if it's a book I really, really like. Tactical objective cards and all that stuff that's going on in it. The Geokinesis for Imperial Fists and Promethean is the Psychic Disciplines for Salamanders. Those will all be in those cards that are normal $15. Looking over here, looks like, oh, there's our first Power Fist. Now, this kit is not necessarily a reprint. Some of this little knickknacks might be, but this kit was released last Christmas when they put out that very large set of Imperial Fists, and it was the first time that we got to see a Primaris Marine with that, an Intercessor with a Power Fist. So pretty much they just copied and pasted, added some more bits in there. Congratulations. And then you get your data transfer sheets as normal. Those are going to be $25. The one we have not seen is this one. So that actually, the Salamander one looks pretty damn cool. I'm not going to lie. That actually, I don't know about, ooh, they got a hand flamer? I don't think they normally get hand flamers. So it looks like Salamanders, at least the Intercessor Squad sergeants, will be able to get hand flamers. Interesting. I mean, they're not all that great, but that's still an interesting thing. I wonder what other little things that they'll be able to get. And, of course, a Thunderhammer. Okay. I mean, it's kind of a, to be honest, it's kind of a rinky-dink Thunderhammer, but I'll take it. Cool. This is probably going to be $25. We already mentioned that we'd be getting, and we've gone over the rules for these guys and the pictures. So Tor Garadon, we already predicted that he was coming, and then they showed up that he is. Here he is, and all of his McFisting, Fisto guy. Glory there. Pretty awesome. Still going to get him. I don't plan on playing him. And then, yes, Texas Wargamer, Omegard. We get Salamanders finally. So Adrax Agaton. I'm probably butchering that name, but finally getting his model. I'm definitely going to, and I'll probably do a walk step-by-step video on how to turn this guy into Vulcan Heston. Even though Vulcan Heston is not getting Primaris rules, I'm going to do a Primaris upgrade for him, and mainly just for visual purposes. And I'll probably also be doing a Lysander one. All right, so we also, sorry, I just got sidetracked there thinking about how I'm going to do it. So we also have the Impulsors coming. That's good. Impulsors are good. We've been waiting for that. This is one of the last, well, this is the last vehicle, except for the Overlord that I talked about a couple times last week. And I might have talked about it yesterday. I haven't talked, yeah, I think it was last week I talked about the Overlord coming. I don't know if that's going to be a Forge World or if that's going to be a Games Workshop model, but that is going to be their flyer. I'm still trying to find any scraps of information about the size of it. You know, is it like Thunderhawk size or is it Storm Raven size? We know it's coming. We know it's there. We just have not seen, we just don't have a lot of particulars on it. All right, so and now the last thing that we know that's coming out finally is the Infiltrator / Incursor squad box. It looks like it'll be a 10-man. I doubt they're going to be doing those 5-bands anymore for 35. I think it's a lot better for them to be cranking these guys out package-wise. It's easier to do 10 models for 60 instead of making multiple small boxes of 5 and then having to pull them off the shelf 6 months later. It's not off the shelf, but making that extra packaging and stuff, it's actually a cost. It's a huge cost. So as you can see here, sorry about the drink, lots of different poses there, and we know that there's going to be all sorts of weapons. This is just the Infiltrators. This is not even the Incursors yet, so it's going to be interesting to see what all little knickknacks come in that set. I'm excited about this, especially since I've got a couple projects I'm working on. So that's coming. We just got to pre-order. That's a pre-order coming up this Saturday. We just got to get through this week with the Blood of the Phoenix and the, which I'm going to be honest with y'all, I'm not too excited about that. It's the price. You're still saving money. It's about $80, but if somebody's just now getting into the game, or which that would be a great starter style box to get into the game, especially with the campaign and all that stuff in it. Really get people that are new to the game into it. But there's no troop choices in there. There's HQs, yes, but it's a weird smattering of elite units, fast attack, and transports, and no other regular options. I mean, it's kind of a weird box. And I mean, right now, also, if you want that Janezar or the Drazar, both of them, the Incubi and the Banshees that are all plastic, you're going to have to get that box now because you're waiting probably, if we follow the regular pattern, 4 to 6 months before they get repackaged. Now, GW might surprise us and then, hey, December, guys and gals, bam, here's your box set. The Banshees, I imagine, if we follow the pricing, the Banshees and Incubi will be about $50 a piece, $40 to $50 per box, and then you're looking at $35 to $40 for the Janezar and Drazar. So sorry about that, but that's GW's pricing. So in the Blood of the Phoenix box, we're weighing in at about $80 off. Speaking of pricing, before I get on to the next little bit, because I'm not going to be on too long today, I've fighting a fever and I got a tooth infection. I'm That's probably why I'm like stuttering all over the place. Plus, I'm really trying to get these videos down shorter for you. I want to talk about pricing. We went through and did a little bit of price checking, and I put it to Mr. Smith, and then a friend of mine, Colin, had already alerted me to what he thought the price was going to be. And I'm still saying it's between $150 to $180 for that box. That's the Sisters of Battle starting box. It's going to come out with the 25 models, the cards, and the special edition codex. So no word if that special edition codex that's in that is the same thing that will be also released. Like they'll have a deluxe edition, or probably have this super duper deluxe edition that's like $200. Comes with a slip case. It'll probably have like a magnetic lock type thing on it, like all the other ones that seem to have. You'll get a whole bunch of like metal token, objective tokens, art cards, and all that kind of stuff. We'll see. As soon as I have that information, I'm sorry. Fighting off this fever and this headache and a jaw pain and everything is really is kind of distracting me here. So we're looking. Sources are saying about $175. That's what Colin had said to me. That's what Mr. Smith had said to me initially. So I'm still saying, because of the way Games Workshop changed their prices, are not necessarily the same thing as the market value. So, like, for example, that we've seen some stuff where it's, say, 95 pounds. So over here it should be, I'm just going to put a number. It should only be like $110, $115, and then they jump it up like another 10 to 15% for some reason to sell here in the US. And don't even get me started on what's happening to New Zealand and Australia. Those poor souls. I'm really sorry, guys, about your pricing from them, those tariffs and such. So I'm still saying 150 to 180, and that should be, and if I'm right about this, we should be seeing the pre-order for that on November 9th. I thought it was the 19th, but I'm getting my dates mixed up. I'm pretty sure it's November 9th. I believe, and I have to check with Ski, the OCR Bone Reapers are coming next. Let me check out here. So besides the named characters, do these supplements add any special rules or models for the armies, or can I still run Impy Crimson Fist without need? Texas Wargamer. We know that Games Workshop, if you come to this page that I'm on right now, and you go to FAQs, you go to downloads, they actually have an update for all the characters in the Space Marine Codex. Now, are the same people, like we know Pedro Cantor and Lysander is in that download. Let me go to it real quick. It's really easy to find. Space Marine character sheets. Now, what we don't know is if there's any adjustments that we're not seeing just yet. So as of right now, I would say no, you don't need the supplements, but just be aware that there could be some rules changes. So when one of your friends gets the book, you can at least check to see if it's in there or not. I mean, I would always say if this is your go-to army, man, get the book. If you are head over heels for Pedro and Lysander, or either or any of these characters in here. Get the book, but I don't think you'll need it, especially if you don't care about the special character and you just want to be able to run these old characters. This should be taken care of. I don't know for sure. Double check with somebody that has the book. That'll just ease your wallet, or ease the pain on your wallet. Okay, let's get into talking real quickly about the state of the meta. This has been a back and forth subject for me here, offline, online, here on this channel, and things have are ridiculously crazy, and they're going to continue to get ridiculously crazy as we go into what I'm going to call Games Workshop's Phase 2, very similar to Marvel's, the MCU's Phase 2, 3, 4, whatever. No worries about that, Texas Wargamer. Yeah, just go to the Warhammer community page, like I said, and you can find those data sheets on there. I don't know if they changed. So anyways, this is Games Workshops, or GWU. Yeah, like that, GWU Phase 2. I believe that we are seeing with the Space Marine Codex and the supplements, which is something I reported on, that we will probably be seeing a return of those 6th edition supplements that came out. Well, we actually have already seen at least 2 of them come out with the Iron Hands and the Imperial Fists, because they had a 6th edition Codex supplement. And there was also the Allenden, I believe, had their own book. There was the Homunculus Covens, and maybe the Witch Cults. Don't quote me on the Witch Cults. And there were a few others. So we might very well be seeing a return to one codex to rule them all, which will be like in this case. Well, let's a future. Look at this at the future. We'll look at Craft World Eldar, and then we could very well see a series of specific Craft World supplements. I'm not saying that I have nothing to go on that. It's just an idea. But whatever that not next codex, skip Sisters of Battle, whatever comes after the Sisters of Battle will probably set that precedence. Will actually help us establish that precedence in regards to are the follow-on codexes going to be very much like the Space Marine Codex and its supplements. It'll be interesting to watch. That's going to be a next year thing. I don't foresee any other codexes coming out this year except for Imperial Fist, Salamanders, and the Sisters of Battle. Those are the only ones we're going to get right now. So next year, I don't know, but what I've been told earlier was that in the early part of the year is probably going to be the Eldar Codex or the Dark Eldar Codex. Don't quote me. Well, I guess you can't quote me because I'm just speculating here, adding in a little bit of information I've received offline. So that's, I know it's not much to go on. Treat it with a bunch of salt. That's the best way, and that way if it doesn't happen, you can go, well, John did say treat it with salt, treat it as a rumor. Imperial Hands and Iron Manders. So, and then sometime that should be around springtime, early spring, late winter, early spring, should be book 2 for the Psychic Awakening. Book 3 should be around summertime, which is going to be Blood Angels, Tyranids, Necrons, supposedly. That's some speculating based on some information that we have, but it's not enough for us to go, hey, we have 100% proof this is what's going on. And then after that, book 4, sometime in the fall, which will be Space Wolves, Dark Angels, and Thousand Suns. Once again, all rumor speculation based on little tidbits of information, factual information that we've gotten, and then trying to piece together current and past lore. It's like trying to put together a puzzle with 3 or 4 different puzzle kits, and they're trying to put together one puzzle. So it's really hard, and so sorry if we don't have a lot of information, but each time that we get that little tidbits, it gets us closer to going, bam, this is what's going to happen. And that's like what we did with the Imperial Fist Codex that's coming up. It's going to be interesting to go back to my previous videos and live chats where I've kind of speculated, like yesterday, speculated this is what's going to be happening, or comparing it to what information we've got, and be able to sit there and pinpoint, hey, look, I was right. This is what's happening. So that kind of sets up, well, adds a little bit of credibility to us, of course, but it also helps us be able to map out the future of codexes. So let's get into the state of the meta a little bit here, because I'm definitely drawing on here. I'm going to do this in about 6 to 7 minutes. All right, so Iron Hands by far are, boy, they are really disrupting the community, really disrupting the tournament meta, and even the local. It is probably the one army since Yanari that and Castellan Knights that has been so divisive. I think that's the word I like to use. Disruptive to the meta and everybody, because all of a sudden people that have just harped and just hated Space Marines, or at that point they hated Knights, or they've hated Yanari, all of a sudden are like, oh, they're winning. Look how good they are. They're winning local events. They're being so OP, which I hate that word. So maybe I should jump onto that. And we've just seen that over the past couple months, well, at least, or past month and a half since Iron Hands has dropped. And I'm a Space Marine player. Most of you guys know that by now. I've rambled on about it. I've been playing them for decades, and that's plural, decades. I love Space Marines. Okay, Fish One says Iron Hand detachments with my Smurfs have been savage. See, and I understand both sides of it. I mean, the Space Marine player side of it and hobbyist is super excited. I'm like, God dang, this is awesome. This is amazing. Finally, Space Marines are on top. We are finally get what everybody else has been getting off and on over the past 2 years since 8th edition has dropped, and even a little bit of 7th edition when there was just like 2 armies that were constantly on top, with Space Marines a little bit underneath. I think at that time Blood Angels around end of 7th edition was doing really well. I could be wrong. I might be getting mixed up between them and Space Wolves. Sorry. So to have my regular Space Marines do well right now in the current meta makes me extremely, extremely happy. However, seeing how everybody and their mother, even play, especially, I don't know, maybe I'm being pretentious, maybe I'm being a snob. I don't think that players that are just, man, it's such a weird situation to be in. And this is John's personal opinion. This is not the opinions of FMP Wargamers, Atomic Hobby Shop, Warzone Houston, or me as a TO. This is just me personally. I just, in a way, I find it slightly offensive when people are like, oh, I've been playing this army for ever and it's been so baller, and it's been, oh, I've been winning so many tournaments, I'm so OP with it, blah 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 blah, and I hate Space Marines, hate Space Marines, and then they turn around and they see how winning, I'm not even sure if that's a correct phrase, how winning Iron Hands are, and so they jump ship, like, bam, look at me, I've always loved them. What do you mean I've hated them? What do you mean I have a tattoo with a, no Space Marines allowed on the as a tramp stamp? What do you mean? I've always loved Space Marines. I've always talked about them. But on the other hand, as a hobbyist, I encourage people to expand outside of their armies. So remember that when you guys maybe relay, hey, John was just bagging on people that jumped ship and became Iron Hand players. Also include, I encourage it because I really like people expanding their viewpoints. What I don't like is people chasing the meta. It's just kind of, I really like the balance. I'm not anything more than a freaking casual player. I like watching, etc. I've always had to run a casting or something similar to Soup Mix. Okay, yeah, and I understand this, and that's where I'm coming from. Is basically, I'm agreeing with both sides, and the hobbyist side of me is like, cool, do it. Get involved. If you got to do Iron Hands because you've been sucking wind, cool, do it. You want, and if you're a hobbyist and you want to paint and play and expand your horizons, great. If you're a tournament player and you want to do this, fine, cool, expand it. But then on the other side, I'm like, whether you're a hobbyist or a tournament player, it's like, dude, come on. Why? I mean, do you need to be chasing the meta? I mean, is that, it's a little insulting in some sense, but it's also encouraging the other. I'm in conflict right here. I might need to go see mental health specialist because this is kind of mind-boggling seeing how things happen, especially when I see somebody alerted me this today, the Battle for Salvation GT that just took place in New York recently. And I don't know who's won the tournament because all I see is 4 games. So I think we're waiting for the 5th game. Let me see. Maybe I have the 5th game results. Nope. Still only have 4 game results. I don't know. So that means we should probably have 5 games still, or another game coming. Anyways, the top 1, 2, 3, 4 spots are Iron Hands, Iron Hands, Iron Hands, Iron Hands. Mark Hertel, Jack Harpster, Alan Blake Burrow. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. And here is a funny. I mean, I never met the guy. I've heard good things, occasionally a couple bad things, but who doesn't hear that sort of thing? But here's Nicholas Rose, Iron Hands in 4th place. Nick Rose has been all over the place, but please, man, don't be a meta chaser, Nick. You're killing me. I think there was somebody else, Naden. I think Sean Naden or something like that. Another well-known player, though this season has not been all that great for him in ITC. I believe he's an Iron Hands player too. It's really weird, man. It's really weird seeing. And I believe people are like Jim Vassell, the big Chaos player. This rumor part, they're switching. I know there's a lot of guys here in the Houston area that are switching. I'm just like, they're not even trying to be clever about it. They're just doing it. They're just being blatant. And it's like they're chasing that tournament dragon, which is that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing for the hobby. And here's where we're going to get into the state of the meta thing. I believe there's going to be, let me first say that Games Workshop does not cater, they do not design this game around tournament play. If you want tournament play, you go play Underworlds, you go play Kill Team, you go play Warcry-ish. I think it's got it does have an organized play format, meaning tournament format. And it looks like, even though I haven't seen it 100% yet, the Aeronautic Imperialis, which is a fantastic game, by the way. Those smaller games are designed for this tournament style play. Games Workshop does not do tournament play they don't design. They don't design Warhammer 40K or Age of Sigmar for tournament play, and people expect them to. And if you keep expecting them and pushing them and just screaming and going, full Twitter rants and blowing up Facebook and being not safe for work comment, but stop being little bastards online and treating them like they owe you something, treating them like you have some sort of gamer privilege and that they should be listening to what you say is wrong. Don't do that. They do not design this game to be a tournament style game. They don't develop this for the format. They are following their own rules of how they do things. They've got this game set up for narrative play, for basically forge the narrative, play the game. Yes, they do update rules and everything because the tournament play does help find loopholes. That's one thing that tournament players are really good at, is finding loopholes and how to abuse the rules. They're very good at it, and in a way that's a good thing. But the way that the community expects, and I'm talking about the tournament community mainly, the meta community, how they expect Games Workshop to bend the knee it's wrong. You should not be trying to force them to bend the knee. We don't need that. We need them to keep producing the game the way that they've been doing it. And yeah, a codex comes out, it's always powerful. It's always powerful, guys. If you watch that power creep, especially during 8th edition, it was like, oh, look at this. This is super powerful and super powerful over and over again. Wait your turn. Space Marines just got their turn finally. And they're going to go a month, maybe 2 months of being on top before, we usually go a few weeks before we see an FAQ. Give them a chance. And if all those Iron Hands players out there, whether you are, just a bandwagoner or you're a dedicated Iron Hands player or you're brand new to it, you're going to have to weather the storm. You guys are going to have to suck it up because you are getting the Yanari treatment right now, ladies and gentlemen. You're getting the Yanari treatment. And in some cases, some of you guys that are getting that Yanari treatment being talked down to, being kind of treated poorly online and at events, I hate to say it, but you deserve it because some of you guys were probably those Yanari haters, which is not a good thing, and I wouldn't want anybody to have to deal with that. We had to deal with Yanari players getting just beat down verbally. I don't think ever physically, but verbally, online, in person, just because they played a really good army. Now, Iron Hands, it's your turn. So all that time that you sat there and complained, now the karma has come back to bite you in the butt. I don't wish that upon you, not at all. But this is just the way things are. And we might see months and months, just like we saw with the Yanari, months and months of Iron Hands being on top, but where we saw Yanari not always being on top and a weird state of flux going on there. It looks like Iron Hands is actually going to be bona fide on top all the time. Yanari was kind of always in those top brackets, but if you go back, go to Blooded Kitten's webpage and look at 2017, then look at 18 and then 19, their tournament records, you'll see the proof in the pudding for the GTs and majors. How many times Yanari took first place? How many times the night lists with this Imperial Soup list? Hey, Dinner, how you doing? How all these different lists were actually on the top. So the Yanari players might have touched you in a bad spot, and it's unfortunate. Make sure you get an adult to help you out with that. But you can at least go on there, find the proof, go on there. Follow their event tracker, click on Yanari, take a look at all the dates, see how many times they won. I believe in 2018 or 2019, Yanari were not winning every single tournament. They were not the top dogs all the time. People need to understand that. But Iron Hands for the probably next 4 months, or at least we'll see after chapter approved drops. Yeah, show me on the hall, show me on the doll where the Iron Hands touched you. And remember, guys, I actually played Clan Rauken during 6th edition. That was my chapter. I played Iron Hands. I hate the Iron Hands, but I really liked they fit the type of units that I was using. It just fit really well. And I'm actually using them now. My current chapter is it's a successor chapter, so I can't use that Iron Father. Right now, my army looks like either it'll fit well for it'll fit well for Iron Hands or Imperial Fists. And in some ways, it looks kind of good for Raven Guard. It looks like it could fit for Raven Guard and definitely Ultramarines. But I'm not running the 30 executioners with an Iron Father or whatever, an Ironstone, all this stuff. I came up with my own list. I'm using stuff that's not conventional. Nobody uses suppressors really. I'm using a crap ton of them, and I'm using infiltrators, one squad of infiltrators, and a bunch of intercessor squads. I've got weird. It's just my own thing. It's what I wanted to use because that's just the feel that I was going for. But right now, I don't even want to play Iron Hands just because of all the crap that's out there, man. It went from being, okay, nobody really plays this to, oh my God, everybody's playing it. And it's such a sad thing. Yeah, you're right, Denner. Not be able to use you by me using a successor chapter, and I don't get to use the Iron Father. Man, I tell you what, I opened my mouth online on Facebook, and I got it was like I'm the one that caused cancer. Uh, I'm the source of I'm like the mad scientist that created cancer. I relented on one topic about how if you're playing Iron Hands, they need to be Iron Hands, and I was like they need the symbol, they need to have the paint job, but I relented because there's a couple of things about the paint job and the history of the chapters that can be tossed out. But I was like, if you show up, like my guys, right? I don't. You guys can probably see my symbol right here. Maybe it's kind of hard to see because the camera's gonna always focus in. Anyways, it's a starburst symbol with the skull in the center. I'm clearly a successor chapter. Um, but and if so, I can't use the Iron Father according to the FAQ that will be coming out. We saw the same FAQ with the Ultramarines and the White Scars, where if you're a successor chapter, you can't use those characters like Gilliman and or Kasoro Khan. You can't use those characters in your successor chapter. It says it right there in FAQ. So it was disappointing, but hey, I worked around it because my army was not centered around having Super Iron Father and three repulsor executioners. I actually put some originality and creative thinking into my list, which is why I harp on these bandwagoners that are jumping on. And you know what? If your whole hobby aspect is to go to tournaments and blaze away and just to win that little bit of prize support and maybe a plaque or a fancy 3D replica 3D printed prize, okay, or trophy, cool, that's your thing. I mean, if Games Workshop's going to love that because that is if you're buying from them or a friendly local game store, they're going to like it, but that's not what the hobby was about. But okay, I still, like I said, I'm on both sides of the fence here, ladies and gents. I'm against it and I'm for it. I support both sides of it, and it's such a conundrum to be. It's a weird spot to be in because I want to badmouth and yell and basically treat people, or not treat people, but talk down to them and treat them. Well, you actually treat them like garbage for bandwagoning. It's like you can't win with any of your other armies, so you have to go and where you sat there and would be telling people, oh, you just need to get good. You can't beat my blah 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 army. Well, then this comes out and you're like, well, I need to stay on top because I just talked trash, so I need to jump on this bandwagon. I'm starting to rant now. I apologize. It's a sticky subject that we're with this position we're in right now with the meta, especially in the tournament side. Thank God that there's more casual players out there than there are tournament players. I mean, and if you think I'm kidding, you're wrong. This hobby, Games Workshop, is supported by the by the community. They don't rely too much on returning people like tournament players who come in, maybe that come in and buy some models, or they're just get them secondhand because they're constantly changing the armies because of whatever whimsical reason they have. It's the new customers, the people that are bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, coming in and they want to learn about this. They saw, say the little cartoons online, or they've played the video games. Those are what these guys are building these rules around. They're not building it around the tournament players. They're building it around the new customers to get them in. So, of course, you guys need to realize that Space Marines, as much as you might not like them, and you're tired of seeing them everywhere on everything, the Space Marines are their flagship army. The Space Marines is what has built this company. They are what has built this entire genre, everything that is going on with Warhammer 40,000 and Games Workshop. And then you get Age of Sigmar now. That's why Stormcast Eternal's there. Yes, I know they're Sigmarines or whatever the saying is, but they are those are the flagship models. Those are the flagship armies. Those are the most recognizable brand images. That's the brand image, guys and gals. Not your Eldar, not your Chaos Marines. Nobody cares about that. What they care about is what's the brand image. And Space Marines is like the Nike symbol, the Apple symbol. Blizzard or not Frontline Gaming. Well, yeah, Frontline Gaming, FNP. That's our brand. Space Marines are the brand. They are the Games Workshop brand. They're the most recognizable brand. So, of course, when that book comes out and all those new models come out, they're going to make them amazing because they want to sell as many models as possible globally at a profit. That's a company line, by the way. I might have missed one or two words, but they want to sell the world's greatest models globally at a profit. And the only way they're going to do that is by upping their game, and these codexes are the way they're doing it. I firmly believe that these codexes that are going to these codex and codex supplements are the current format, I guess you can look at, that we're going to see in the future, or something similar. We're about ready to go to a whole new power level, guys. Whole new level of power. And because of this, I told you guys for months that 1750, 1850 are right around the corner. Guess what? It's getting closer to that time, ladies and gents. We're not too far away from the end of the season and the beginning of the next season. I foresee lots of changes, and a lot of you are just kind of don't believe me. I still don't have 100% proof, but you know what? Going to be kind of hard to show up and with your three repulsor executioners if all of a sudden you have less points. So I don't know. Let me check out some communication here. Thank you guys so much for watching and chatting with me. Fish One. Amazes me that people can moan about so much in 40k over Space Marines. Back when I started playing 40k, there were a few Eldar models, some Nids, a handful of Orcs, and so little else. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. The range right now is so vast. A whole new power... Did I say power level? Oh, man, I probably shouldn't have said power level. I meant point-wise. If I said power level, I apologize. I meant point level, 1750. Unless you guys are just kind of playing with what I said. But you're right, Fish One. It amazes me people moan about this. Space Marines were the first plastic kit. They were some of the first metal miniatures. And they've evolved over time. And it's really... Look at all the video games. The most popular video game, the whole... why can't I think of the name of it? Gabriel Angelos, and even before then, Dawn of War. Is that right? Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War. I think that is it. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, however many there are out there right now. It's the most, and then the Space Marine game, and then all the Space Hulk games. Those, you see more of those, and yeah, there's a couple AOS ones. They're the Total War, and then there's Battlefleet Gothic. But I don't know where I was going with that. Space Marines are the brand image. That's why there's so many of them. That's why you're always seeing it, guys and gals. So, and you're right, these days the range is extremely vast. I mean, you guys should be the ones feeling privileged to have so much opportunity, so many different models, so many rule supplements. But back in the day, we had nothing. So you know what? I'm going to go old man here. It's like, back in my day, I had to walk 10 miles to the store. Actually, I had to ride my bike 10 miles to the store, to the Hobbytown, USA. So there's some truth that I rode my bike, had to take back roads because I couldn't ride my bike on the highway unless I wanted to die. But the point is that, that you guys are the ones that should be feeling privileged to be a part of this instead of pushing your privilege or your sense of entitlement onto Games Workshop's designers. They've got their own program, they've got their own goals in mind that they don't tell us, and they don't have to tell us. We don't want them, and I tell you, I don't want them to go the way of, say, War Machine and Hordes. Look at how their system went. How many tournaments are you now seeing War Machine and Hordes locally? It used to be freaking huge here in Texas. I mean, in Houston, amazingly huge. That's all I hear about is Hordes, War Machines, blah 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 blah. We had one of the top players in the world here, Will Begini. I'm going to butcher his name. I'm sorry. Who's over at Atomic Mass Games right now doing Marvel Crisis Protocol. He used to be here, big on that, and all of a sudden, third edition comes out, and they're like, we're gearing us towards tournament players still, because that's what that format was for, was tournament players. It's not a dead product, but it's kind of a dead product right now because they bent the knee. They bent the knee to the players. They bent the knee to the tournament players, and they pushed everything out, and what they came out with was crap based on what the players were feedback from all the beta testing. Tournament players ruined that game. Helped ruin that game, I should say. Tournament players helped ruin that game. So please, tournament players, stop pushing your agenda onto Games Workshop, because they're really not going to listen. They don't do this stuff for you guys. They do this for the whole community. They build all this on the whole community. And yeah, you guys are right. There are some changes that need to happen for Iron Hands. They are ridiculous, but if we're not going to be seeing any changes, then that should give you guys plenty of notice, plenty of warning that there are big changes coming for your army. You just got to wait. Just like Space Marine players have waited for years to be on top for a while. And you know what? We're going to be on top for a while. I don't play tournaments. And in fact, I'm going to be taking about a month off from 40K because I'll still talk about it for the show, but I'm not going to play any games. I'm not going to be hobbying for the month of November. I'm pretty sick of the way the community is becoming. The Age of Sigmar community, love you guys. You guys have grown exponentially. You have probably some of the most sportsmanship-like, well-behaved people I've ever encountered. And I really love how you guys have grown the community. I hope you guys do not go the route of 40K. I hope that you don't see an influx of 40K players trying to come over and thinking that they can wreck shop over there, and they start bringing that nastiness over, that toxicity, which I hate using that term. But I'm looking at leaving 40K, and I have invested so much time. Like I said many times before, I have done over 2.5 chapters worth of Marines in my lifetime, from commission painting and my own. And for me to want to walk away from that, it's like 7th edition. I almost quit Warhammer 40K because of 7th edition as a TO. And then 8th edition finally came out. I'm about ready to leave Warhammer 40,000 because of where we're at in the meta. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, people's behaviors. I don't mean by jumping ship and being bagwagoners, but I mean they're just how nasty it is out there. It's just, people are rude. And it's only like 10-15% maybe, but man, those people, they ruin it for everybody else, because of course in this digital age they all jump on the bandwagon, and or they all jump on it, and it spreads through the internet like an infection, and it's really nasty. So with that said, I'm not going to quit 40K. I'm just going to take a break, reset my mindset. I'm not even going to touch any of my models. I'm not even going to play any games. I'm just going to chill. I'll still report on this, and if you guys feel targeted, I'm most certainly not attacking anybody individually or attacking the group. Like I said, I understand both sides of the hobby, because I've been on both sides of this. I've been on the hobby side, I've been on the tournament side, and the hobby side is a much nicer side. Not because I'm not a good player, it's just nicer on the hobby side. Casual players, it's where it's at. Casual play is where it's at. So on a good note, I'm going to try to leave this off on a good note. So the good thing about the tournament play, about where we're at right now, is that this is going to affect some good change. It's going to take a while, but we will start seeing some changes on the tournament front from the individual organizations, because remember, Games Workshop is not a tournament company. They don't care about the tournament scene for 40K or AOS. But so I think we're going to see a lot of change. In fact, we are seeing some changes for SoCal Open already. So the change, there's the change in the wind. I think that's the phrase. Change in the wind. I can smell it. I can smell what you're stepping in. There's change coming, and it's going to be good. We just got to ride this out. Just ride this this bump out, guys. And I know you tournament players out there, I know you guys are really frustrated with Iron Hands and the fact that everybody else is jumping on that bandwagon. And I kudos to you guys. If you jump on the bandwagon, you always wanted to do Marines or whatever, or you just want to win some tournaments. You know what? Kudos. Good for you. If you are sticking to your gun, maintaining your integrity in the regards to I am nothing but an Eldar player, or I'm nothing but a Custodes player, or I will never play Space Marines, kudos to you. Stick by your guns. Maybe take a break. Do some painting. Come in and maybe think about your next project. Come into a store like the Atomic Hobby Shop and grab something off the shelf and just go and have fun. Relax. Don't even care about if it applies to the meta or not, or your tournament list. There's change coming. It's going to be good. Everything's going to settle down. Where it's not apocalypse yet. Games Workshop is in such a good spot right now, and what we're seeing right now, even though it seems really bad, there's hope for the future. This is a good sign of what's to come. It is going to be a good thing. We just got to get past this grumpy butt thing that we got going on here. Try not to laugh. Makes my jaw hurt. But we'll get past this poopy pants stage, and we'll get back to, okay, we're going to have fun. But this season, I blame the ITC season. In a way, I blame ITC. I think inadvertently, it has created a very nasty atmosphere. Inadvertently. So I think they're going to, they're very good guys over there. They know what they're doing. And I know after talking to a couple of them on the AOS side and the 40K side, there's change coming, guys. So just wait, just ride this out. You know what? You're going to go ahead and play against those Iron Hands. You're going to learn something. Maybe you're going to come up with some brand new tactics, brand new ways to run your list. And it's a time to expand on your army. There's lots of great opportunities that are going to come out of this turmoil. Trust me on this. Just bear with us. It's going to be all right. Thank you for listening to my rant. I really appreciate it. I know I just repeated myself numerous times and I complained. And once again, I am not targeting or bad mouthing you if you are jumping like a bandwagoner. You know, I know every once in a while I might say it online. I might get a little snippy or snarky, but I get it in the long run. I get why you're playing, what you're doing, and you know, just do you. You know, you're gonna have to deal with the backlash, but it's gonna work out, guys. It really is, guys and gals. So with that said, and God dang it. One of these days, I'm going to have an under 30-minute video. You know what? I'm going to set a timer on Tuesday for Tuesday's show. And it's going to go off at 15 minutes, 25 minutes, and then at 30 minutes or at 28 minutes or something along that lines. So I have a short show. God dang it. I'm so sorry I did a long show. Oh, okay. Anyways, my jaw is killing me. I can feel, probably see starting to glisten here. The fever is starting to kind of pitch back here. I need to take some ibuprofen or something and get off my jaw, so to speak. Thank you guys so much for listening to me rant. And remember, it's just a game. They're just toy models. Do your own thing despite what other people are complaining about. Just don't cheat or treat people like garbage. Just don't do that, and you're going to be okay. So with that said, make sure you hit the follow button. Follow button. up here, maybe. I think it's up here. I think follow or subscribe. If you're an Amazon Prime member, hit that subscribe button. I'm looking into this thing 'cause we just started receiving bits or gems or whatever it is from people. I'm gonna find out what that is and how you guys do that. Oh, there's a little button down there in the chat window. This has you cannot cheer. Oh, I can't cheer my own channel. Okay, so anyways, the bits thing, I think it's like every bit that we get gets the channel $1, which is going to go to our studio, which is coming along just nicely. We just got a whole new lighting thing set up. We're going to show you guys, should check out our videos from Saturday's Age of Sigmar tournament. It's the last Texas Masters tournament of the year, so check that out. We have 3 videos of that up. Bits are cheered. Every bit is 1 cent. Thank you, Texas Wargamer. I appreciate that. Anyways, thanks for putting up with this very long video. And it was part rant, part informative, part pleading. You guys have a very good weekend. Remember, tomorrow is Monday. Start your Monday off right. Go into it and go, you know what? I'm going to have a great week. Not have a case of the Mondays. It's a great Monday. I'm really going to enjoy it. Get one of your favorite songs. Get one of your favorite songs up and start in the morning and just go and just have a damn good day. And just start it off right. And then next thing you know, it's going to be Wednesday. It's going to be hump day. And you'll be like, oh my God, where did the past 2 days go? And then it's going to be Friday and you're going to be super excited. And then it's going to be your weekend, especially if you live for the weekend. So please, guys, enjoy your Monday. Make it a damn good day. Make it better. Make it better than any of the days that you've recently had, especially if you've had some rough days. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Get to painting, get to hobbying. Take a break if you need to. Walk away, especially you tournament players. Walk away. Take a break and then come back. All right, you all have a good night. My name is John. I'm with FMP Wargamers. And thank you for listening. Thank you for following. Thank you for subscribing. You all have a good night.